Hello, it's me again. Today I want to talk to you about Paul. A lot of times Jesus calls us to do something and it's against the grain. It seems like it's hard, um, almost kind of like a crazy idea. Um, but I kind of want to go over the life of Paul because he's like chief in that, and I mean, he's the crusader of half the New Testament. So I just want to read in Acts chapter 23, verse 6, and then I'm going to go from there. It says, "But when Paul perceived that one part were Sadducees and the other Pharisees, he cried out in the council, 'Men and brethren, I am a Pharisee, the son of a Pharisee. Concerning the hope and resurrection of the dead, I am being judged.'" The reason why I read this to you is because Paul's father was a Pharisee. Um, so it's safe to say that he was born and bred to be a Pharisee. He was passionate about being a Pharisee, which was the religious leader of the time. Obviously, in his early works before he was converted, he was um, taking part in stoning Christians. Um, but then on the road to Damascus, God called him and said, "Hey, you're obviously persecuting me, and I'm going to show you what it's like to suffer for the kingdom." But as I'm reading through Acts, like God is showing me deeper about really kind of how crazy the task God asked him to do, and Paul submitted to it. The verse I read to you in the last video came from Acts. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, 20 verse 24, where he talks about how he's going to finish the race with joy. Um, so Paul was very educated. He he knew the law. Um, so God told him, "All right, you're doing the wrong thing." Um, but he brought him into all these regions to actually say, "You guys should not practice the law anymore. You are not under the law, you are under grace," which is, to me, if you really sit back and think about that. So he was brought up, under his father's teaching to be passionate about the law as a Pharisee. Then he's told that law doesn't apply anymore, it's grace. And then if you take it one step further, he's told, "I want you to take the message of grace not to the Jewish people, but to the Gentiles." So his whole entire world was flipped upside down for the sake of Jesus, for the sake of the ministry, for the sake of growing the kingdom. I think that's a huge, huge message all in itself, because so many times we let what our passions are, what our hopes, dreams, and aspirations are, get in the way of what God is actually calling us to do, because it's uncomfortable. Guys, I talk about being uncomfortable a lot because for so many years I hid behind my discomforts and I didn't pursue what God was calling me to do, such as these videos or just being kind. I think of the time frame when this was going on. Like, can you imagine, like, Paul pretty much stepped away from the family business? Like, he probably disappointed his father, who was a Pharisee his entire life. And then Paul is being called to say, "Hey, everything you've thought of your entire life, it doesn't matter anymore. And now I want you to tell people that respect you that they're wrong, and that now we are under grace and not the law." It's just amazing to me. When we submit to God, the fruit that comes along with that, the joy, the peace, the kindness, the compassion, those are fruits of the Spirit. And I don't think we fully really step into those until we submit, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's against what we know, for the sake of the kingdom, for the sake of sowing seeds, for the sake of brotherly love and kindness. So I hope I hope that sits with you the way it sits with me. Like when I think about that, like it gives me goosebumps. Like this fact that the Spirit has revealed that to me. Um, I'm just so grateful and blessed to just have my eyes opened in this, and I hope it helps push you guys to be a kingdom creator. Like that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to bring people to the kingdom through grace, through love, through kindness. Anyway, I hope to make another one of these tomorrow, and I'm excited for what God is doing and what He's going to do in your life. I love you. God loves you. Have a great rest of your day.